So this is a phase 1b study where we evaluated multiple different combinations of potentially relevant drugs in AML in the relapsed refractory setting. And the goal of this study was really to see whether or not in this parallel multi-arm study where it's sort of like a pick a winner design where we could identify the most promising combination and then expand that, offer that to more patients, and ultimately potentially for further development and lead to more broader use. So we evaluated combination with various drugs, including Venetoclax, Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin, Glasdegib, and others. Essentially, this study has 5 arms. 3 of them are triplet arms, which include Azacitidine, Venetoclax, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin, Azacitidine, Venetoclax, and Avelumab, which is an anti-PD-L1 antibody, and Azacitidine, Avelumab, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin. And then there were 2 other arms. One was Glasdegib and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin, and one with an OX40 antibody. So what we found first is that in the non-triplet arm, so in Glasdegib and the Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin, and the OX40 antibody arms, we treated about 5 to 6 patients in each one and didn't see any responses. So the idea was then to focus more on those triplet regimens, which seemed more promising. And so we treated 20 patients, first of all, in the Azacitidine, Venetoclax, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin arm. We found that was a safe regimen with no dose-limiting toxicities observed. And importantly, we did see that the response rate, CR and CRI rate in this for this regimen in the patients with relapsed refractory AML was 40%, and then 55% if we include MLFS into that response group. And then we also divided the patients by those who had received prior Venetoclax or not. And importantly, those patients who had not received prior Venetoclax, the overall CR/CRI rate in the relapsed refractory setting was 55%, and it was 75% if we include MLFS. And so this translated to a median overall survival of 7.3 months, which is encouraging in the relapsed refractory setting. And so the goal here is that to further expand this arm, which seems to be very encouraging, particularly in patients who have not had prior Venetoclax. Now, we also evaluated the 2 other triplets that had Avelumab in them, so the Azacitidine, Venetoclax, Avelumab, the Azacitidine, Avelumab, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin. We did also see some responses in those arms, although albeit not as encouraging as with the Azacitidine, Venetoclax, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin. Of interest, we did see 1 patient treated with Azacitidine, Avelumab, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin who had extramedullary disease, and we know that this is a population of patients who may respond particularly well to immunotherapy, such as an anti-PD-L1 antibody. So we had 1 patient with extramedullary disease who had an excellent response with this therapy. This patient had multiple prior therapies, including Azacitidine and Venetoclax. And this patient rapidly achieved a complete remission and is still in CR 9 months into therapy. So that's very encouraging and provides further evidence for the potential benefit of these anti-PD-L1 antibodies for patients with extramedullary disease. So going forward, we're encouraged by all 3 of the triplet arms, and particularly the Azacitidine, Venetoclax, and Gemtuzumab, Ozogamicin. So the goal now is to further expand that arm in particular, focus more on patients who have not had prior Venetoclax. And I think this could be a very reasonable option going forward if these data are maintained. Because we get a 75% response rate for patients in the relapsed refractory setting as a potential bridge to transplant, because this seems to be better than what we get with the standard therapies that are currently available.